recently traveled to multiple cities in Hokkaido. We took a flight from Singapore to Tokyo, then a domestic flight to Sapporo. This video highlights our itinerary from days 1 to 3 of this trip. For day 1, we took a road trip to Biei and Furano, and unfortunately had gloomy weather. But we still got to see some cool things during our drive up to Biei, including this cute passing train. We were supposed to stop for sushi here, but the store was closed, so we ate at a random place that was decent but overpriced. Aoike was our first stop after lunch, and the rainy weather made it too cold, but the view was worth it. We also got a decent family photo and spotted some wildlife nearby. Unfortunately, it continued to rain throughout the day, so we only made a quick stop at Farm Tomita. We also stopped by Furano Cheese Factory for souvenirs and ice cream before returning to Sapporo for dinner. We stayed at Hotel Sosei M Gallery while in Sapporo, and I definitely recommend this hotel to travelers with young kids because my kids absolutely love this place, and I will be putting a separate video up about this hotel, so stay tuned for that. For our second full day, we are exploring more of Sapporo, starting with Roy's Cacao and Chocolate Town. Tickets have to be purchased in advance from their website and cost 1,200 yen for adults and 500 yen for children aged 4 to 15. Children aged 3 and under can enter free of charge. There were a lot of interactive exhibits throughout the tour, including games that even our 3-year-old was able to play, and we could also sample some chocolate, and there were many photo spots scattered throughout. The part my kids looked forward to the most was the chocolate making workshop, which cost 1,500 yen per person. It was worth it, and my kids had a lot of fun customizing their very own chocolate bar. This chocolate making workshop is only accessible if you participate in the factory tour, but again, we enjoyed ourselves and highly recommend it. At the end of the tour, we could also write a message and put it up anywhere on the cacao tree wall, so we did that before spending some time at the gift shop. There is a beautiful courtyard outside the factory, so we admired that for a bit, then got a quick family photo before moving to our next stop. We were initially meant to have lunch at Latau, but spent a little too much time at the Roy's gift shop, so we ended up arriving later than expected, and at that point they were only serving desserts. We decided to stay for desserts, and the cakes were so light and airy. They were a little bit pricey, but definitely didn't disappoint. And of course, we can't leave Otaru without having chirashi, so we did a little research and found out that there is a chirashi place just 3 minutes away by foot. So we walked over for a proper lunch. The place is called Aka Aokiro, and the chirashi bowl was pretty good and reasonably priced. Once we were nice and full, we made our way back to Sapporo, more specifically Ginkgo Avenue at Hokkaido University, and got some photos. It was getting dark at this point, so we decided to head over to Daimaru for a bit of shopping, and I got some Shu Uemura eyebrow pencils since they're a lot cheaper there compared to Singapore. Then we had Genghis Khan for dinner at Sapporo Beer Garden. For day 3, we were driving towards Niseko, so we checked out of our hotel and loaded up the car and started our drive towards Niseko, making a few stops along the way. The weather was pretty good today, so the drive was very scenic, and we were treated with some nice autumn foliage views. It was nice to see some vibrant colors along the way, and after a decent drive of about 40 minutes, we arrived at our first stop. This is the Makomanai Takino Cemetery, and there is a row of moai statues right at the entrance, and they were huge. We parked the car and spent some time taking photos here. My husband took one for me with the kids, and of course, we also got one as a family. After that, we walked towards the Hill of the Buddha. During lavender season, this whole field will be covered in lavender, but since it was October, we didn't get to see any, although I'd like to visit again when the lavender field is in full bloom. Here I'm just reading the notice board, and my son captured this interaction with a couple of obachan. They basically offered me their tickets and showed me the way. Obviously, it was unexpected, but I graciously accepted and thanked them as they left. After a short walk, we came across this body of water and made some offerings before moving towards the Buddha statue. It's a nice peaceful area, and the calmness can be felt even before reaching the statue. There are some chairs laid out in the area to allow visitors to sit back and marvel at the Buddha statue. I've seen photos prior to this, but to be here in person was truly spectacular. I enjoyed the peace felt in the presence of this Buddha statue, and we ended up spending 30 minutes here. We then had some soft serve at the gift shop before continuing our journey towards Niseko. Our next stop was Jozanke, which is known as an onsen town, but we came here for a different reason. I would have loved to explore more of this area, but we were running behind schedule and the walk from the car was unexpectedly long, so we unfortunately didn't get to see much. After about 10 minutes of walking, we finally got to see the Futamitsuru Bridge. It was a nice and pleasant stroll in the autumn weather, and my little one was a little scared of the steps, but Big Brother stepped up. The bridge was a little crowded, but not overwhelming, so we still were able to enjoy the views of nature. We were also able to get a family photo here, which turned out quite nice, and my husband even took a candid shot of me. With that, we walked back to the car to continue our drive to Niseko, where we spent 2 nights at the Park Hyatt. We were pretty tired by the time we checked in, so we decided to book a slot at the onsen on property, and no one else had booked the same slot, so it was like my own little private onsen, which was amazing. In the next video, we'll be exploring Niseko and its vicinity, including the magnificent Lake Toya, and we share the moment we almost lost our fingers.